name is Gladiator.
My name is Crixus, and I want to thank you for stepping into the arena. All right, tonight I'm going to talk to you guys about my thoughts, so just sit back, relax. This is not like a normal video. This is where you put it on, do your dishes, whatever you got to do. But I'm going to talk about my thoughts from the Showdown 1 through 5, the pros and cons of the event, what things might want to change. And also, there's two different paths you can take. You can take an efficient path, and then you can also take a non-efficient path for points. There's two different ways. I'll break that down. I don't think a lot of people really know about. Starting off with the pros, theory crafting was much more difficult and very rewarding when people were able to figure out the perfect balance for teams. Damage, make sure your damage was spread evenly. Make sure you had the correct amount of CC. You couldn't want to overload one team and then make one team really, really overwhelming. Gear requirements. Okay, gear requirements were a little bit too high in my opinion towards the end. I think the 3-3, and I think at the highest end you could probably go 4-4. But 3-3 I think is a relative good balance for free-to-play and pay-to-play players. And I'm glad that in Season 2 they've identified that, and they're going to go full on with that 3v3 for the future Showdown. So those are kind of the big pros that I saw. And then here's some of the cons. I surveyed the data by tracking points of the top participating players in the Showdown, and it showed less than 5 or 6 players in the game bought full refreshes for the entire Showdown entirety. What this tells me is that the cost to participate is way overpriced. It was about $1,500 to play all 5 Showdowns. You could also do the extra refreshes, which we'll talk about later on, and that's about $1,700, and it wasn't as efficient. The cost for pay-to-play is way overpriced, highly overpriced. So my recommendation is to reduce gems and potion costs by 75%. This is still feasible and would most likely increase the pay-to-play participation from Glue, because you'll have more people able to participate rather than a select few. Additionally, potion allocation should be increased by about 300%. Every player should have at least 10,000 potions for free going into each segmented game mode for the event. What this does, it gives you about 12 plus free attempts that you can play with, and then you can incentivize that extra 18 to be purchased. So this would be a really good balance for pay-to-play and free-to-play players. I want to talk to you about the Patreon. This is how we can support the channel, make videos, and when I come back from my big long trip, we are going to get heavy back into streaming, and it's going to be great for everybody. We're get ready to knock off the next tournament, which I think is going to be a gigantic tournament, and anything that helps anything that comes from the Patreon is going to help everybody and give back to the community. 100% goes back into the community. I'll post a link in the description below, and I'll also post it in this video. All right, the next segment we're talking to you about is bugs. All right, one of the biggest bugs that I noticed, and it happened to me 2 different times, was being kicked out of a match and sent to the home screen. With the gems, potions, and turns consumed, I was able to get 1 attempt restored in a timely fashion. However, even after winning 1 battle in the last Showdown number 5, I was kicked out on turn 0. I had won the battle, kicked back to the front screen. All my gems were consumed. My turn was consumed. And my potions were consumed. And I wasn't able to get my refresh back. So I put in a ticket. They said that there's no one working on the weekends that can take care of this. So it was a lot of concern. They kept saying they were going to look into it. So I was very concerned on the race of the leaderboard at that point. Talking to Caledon, it was very, very close. He also got kicked out in Showdown 5, and his turn did not get restored either. So what this did is it made an even playing field for both of us, luckily. And it was so close that it was 6,000 points. And 6,000 points in a showdown is less than one win. I mean, less than one battle. So it's basically the difference between 2 wins. It was literally a razor thin battle. So what they need to do is they need to make this bug in particular a very, very important and priority bug. It didn't just affect me in Caledon, it affected a large number of players where they lost their gems, they lost their potions, got kicked out, and potentially probably a lot of people missed out on milestones and or placements within their brackets. So I can understand a lot of frustration, and it almost compromised the entire Season 1 based on that one bug. Okay, next is going to be the 2 different methods for competing when you want to use all the refreshes. I know most people can't do it, but guess what? If you are able to do it, this is a way to get more refreshes than most people don't know about. All right, so what this is, I call it the efficient method and then the non-efficient method, okay? The efficient method, you can get 3 teams or 6 teams based off Showdowns 1 through 4 and Showdown number 5. As you can see the spreadsheet, you can normally do 33 attacks with 3 teams. With accurate staggering, you can get 37 attacks. However, teams will not be as effective. Overall, your win rate will go down if you use, most likely will go down if you use the inefficient method. I still went with the efficient method. Overall, my win rate was 187 out of 198 attempts. It's because, and I lost very minimal characters when I did battle, and a lot of people don't know that it's all about how many battles you win and how many characters you lose, which is really important. And I'm going to do another video on tips and tricks, exactly how to maximize your points, and I'll do that later this week. The question to ask yourselves is, do I go the risky route or the efficient route? Do you go all in, or do you hold back a little bit? Just an example, in Showdown number 4, I completed 33 attempts and lost twice. However, Disney Daddy did 37 attempts and lost a lot more than I did because of less efficient comps. He also had access to my same compositions, and he paid an extra 12,000 gems and only received an additional 1,300 points. So he did get more points, but it cost him more, and he lost more. But if he had won those battles, all right, he would have had a very significant advantage in the Showdown. So those are my thoughts on the Showdown Season 1, what I think they should do to improve things, what are some pros, what are some cons. Overall, I absolutely love the Showdown. It is the greatest thing that I think has hit the game, especially for me. I'm more of a PvP player, and I look forward to the Zeus raid, but I absolutely love the Showdown, and I want to shout out to everybody who was involved in creating it. They did a fantastic job. And I want to thank everybody who supports the Patreon and myself in the Coliseum. My name is Crixus, and I want to thank you for stepping into the arena.
My name is Gladiator.